straight to the headlines. We say tribunals delayed their judgment date causes anxiety in Nigeria. Now, this is the Presidential Election Petition Court, PEPT. Over 2 weeks after all parties made their final arguments in the petitions challenging the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigerians have grown apprehensive over what they regard as a delay by the tribunal to deliver a judgment, or at least set a date to deliver judgment. The perceived delay may have been interpreted to mean different things, while some allege it was a ploy to tinker with the verdict. Now, some others argued that the tribunal needed time to critically study the argument of the parties in the dispute. Some of those who spoke to Business Day Sunday said that that was the economic crisis and the rising cost of a living crisis in the country that may have raised interest in whatever verdict the tribunal may deliver. Now, this, they said, was the reason for the increased campaign on social media platforms and billboards with the inscription, "All eyes on the judiciary." Now, some of those who shared their concerns with Business Day and via social media said the delay was unnecessary, alleging moves to deny justice. These fears and growing anxiety are largely due to the trust deficit Nigerians have for the judiciary system in Nigeria. Now, a 2022 survey on citizens' perceptions on governance in Nigeria by Vari Tech and Research NG and Bisika Insight found that about 71% of Nigerians lack trust in the judiciary. They lack trust in the judiciary. Now, furthermore, I will say the Presidential Petitions Tribunal is now seen as a test on the integrity of the judiciary. Now, the hashtag "All Eyes on the Judiciary" continues to trend on social media. Nigerians want to see an impartial, indisputable judgment from the 5-man panel of judges led by Justice Haruna Samani. Now, there are also some pockets of concern that the outcome of the judgment may spark crisis, especially if perceived to be partial. Justice Samani is delaying the date of the judgment of the Presidential Election Tribunal because of presumably two things. He and his colleagues want to stand with the Constitution and are ready to give undisputed judgment based on the evidence provided by the respondent, devoid of technicalities. Then he and his colleagues are looking for technicalities to undermine the institution called the judiciary because of Bola Tinubu. Nígérîàñs wrote on his Twitter handle. Now, anyway they go, we be here waiting for them. They can decide their actions, but I'm sure they have not sat down to envisage our reactions, if others said. Now, another Nigerian Chuk Serik wrote, said, "What exactly is Presidential Election Tribunal afraid of? What are they waiting for to announce the final judgment date?" Well, of all the hardship Nigerians currently face, none is more punishing than the never-ending wait for Presidential Election Petition Tribunal (PEPT) to deliver judgment. Justice delayed is justice denied. Now, someone decried that it took Ukraine's court 12 days to nullify its presidential election. It took Austrian court a few days to nullify its presidential election. It took Kenya's court 14 days to nullify its presidential election. And there was a tribunal to set a date. I don't know. For Emmanuel David, a businessman in Abuja, Tribunal also set a date for judgment to ease Nigerian state tension, but he said the delay can be tolerated if the judgment is fair enough. On August 2023, all parties, including the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, and the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, the legal team of Independent National Electoral Commission, now the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima adopted their final written addresses. Now, after which the tribunal reserved the judgment and declared that a date for judgment will be communicated to all parties. According to statutory provision, election petitions must be heard and determined within 180 days from the day of filing. The tribunal is therefore expected to deliver judgment on or before September 16th. Both Obi and Atiku had their petitions praying the court to nullify Tinubu's victory and declare them president. The key issues as contained in their petition before the court include on compliance of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to the electoral laws, especially regarding the deployment of technology to ensure transparent process and other electoral fraud in favor of President Tinubu. Now, Tinubu forfeiture of $460,000 for narcotic trafficking and money laundering and alleged certificate forgery. Also, failure to secure 25% in the FCT double nomination of Vice President Kashim Shettima. Although the Supreme Court had delivered a judgment on Shettima's double nomination, the Allied People's Movement (APM), whose petition before the tribunal is anchored solely on the nomination of Shettima, however, said the judgment did not touch the grounds of their case. The court will deliver judgment on the final day, on the 25th, on the 25%, yes, which is the 25% score that's supposed to come out from Abuja from each candidate. All respondents argue that the Federal Capital Territory should be treated as a state. They argue that the e-transmission of a result using the bimodal voter accreditation system, which is BVAS, is not part of the collation process, but just a process to enhance the credibility, and that a glitch suffered did not impact on the election. My God. So the bimodal voter accreditation system is not part of the collation process, but just a process to enhance the credibility, and that a glitch suffered did not impact on the election. Now they argue that Tinubu's forfeiture is civil and not a criminal case. Okay, forfeiture. Why did he forfeit his either property or valuables or forfeited money? To do what? Because they charge him of criminal case, narcotic. When the court talk about narcotic, because I believe it's related to drugs. Now, on the accreditation system, which is said that they argue that the electronic transmission of results using the bimodal voter accreditation system is not part of the collation process, but just the process to enhance credibility, and that the glitch so far did not impact on the election. Who said this? Who is the author of this word? The court will deliver judgment on the final day, on the 25%. All respondents argue that the FCT, Federal Capital Territory, should be treated as a state. Well, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. I would like you to share your views in the comment section. Thanks for listening and God bless.